you can. It's just stopped raining. It was raining. It stopped though. It stopped, and it's windy out there. But they say it was gonna. I know. I don't remember it being this many limbs. Do you? This is a yeah, the dead one. They called it a drought. I said I could see Chief Slaughter there. Did he leave? He's still there. This is kind of late, ain't it? We went, that was some good fish. Where did it come from? My mic is
Sure did sound like somebody's legs, huh?
on. Not mine.
How did you up from over there? I don't know.
Yeah, because Jennifer said before it was on and mine was not on. Just missed out on your mic. I said my mic was not on. So maybe it's from over there. You think it's from that one?
It could be from that one. I heard you talking.
Oh, yeah.
I just want, we're streaming to YouTube right now.
Oh, okay.
And I just didn't want you to say anything that you might
Ah,
be.
okay. I better be quiet. Yeah, Jennifer told me before it was on mine. This is old too, Mary. See? Yeah, that's the fish fry. Well, you could have bought all of it in there. I don't know why you didn't bring all of it in there. Oh, he didn't feel like it.
All right, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Texas City Council. Today is Monday, October the 24th, 2022. We'd like to welcome all of you who are joining us in the audience this evening, as well as those who are joining us online. At this time, I'll call on our City Secretary, Jennifer Evans, to provide a roll call. Ms. Evans?
Ms. Matlock? Mr. Davis?
Here.
Ms. Hart? Ms. Page? Ms. Williams? Mr. Harp?
Okay, Councilmember Page is not with us this evening, so I will be voting on matters that come before the council this evening. And our invocation and pledge will be led by Councilmember Betty Williams. If everyone will please stand.
Our Heavenly Father, at this season, we would remember that first Thanksgiving Day, and that you have again fulfilled your gracious promise, that while the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not fail. We bless you for the kindly fruits of the earth, which we enjoy, and realize that all good gifts are sent from above. We thank you, Lord. Amen. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. In reference to our upcoming council meetings, we will have one council meeting during the month of November and also one council meeting during the month of December. So our November meeting will be held on Monday, November the 14th, and our December meeting will be held on Monday, December the 12th at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. Also, other upcoming events, it's a busy time of the year. So Food Truck Fridays are continuing for the month of October, and ask everyone to come and enjoy delicious food and sweet treats at the downtown courthouse square from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Fridays. And then also Cycle Through History downtown bike tours will take place with the following themes. October the 28th, it will be Murder and Mayhem. And then on November, that'll be interesting. And then on November the 4th, Public Art will be the topic for that particular session. And for reservations, you can call Keith Beeson with the city at 903-798-1715. In reference to Parks and Recreation activities, October events, October the 26th, we'll have our Walk Through History tour that will take place at Spring Lake Park. October the 27th is Movies in the Park. The title will be The Town That Dreaded Sundown. That's an old local favorite, and so look forward to that. And then October the 29th is the TISD Dash for Cash 5K at Spring Lake Park. And October the 29th, we'll also have a Trunk or Treat festival at Spring Lake Park. And then that will close out October. And then beginning in November, on November the 2nd, a Walk Through History tour will take place once again at Spring Lake Park. And then November the 5th, we have our annual Bark at the Park, which is held at the north end of Spring Lake Park at the Kylie Sullivan Dog Park. And that's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that's where our citizens can bring their pets to receive shots and other information. It's been a very successful event over the past several years, and look forward to another successful event again this year. Going back to our Movies in the Park on October the 27th, the movie will begin at dusk, and then there are concessions available for those who attend the meeting, and that's the movie, and that's located in the central part of the park. At this time, additional Parks and Recreation information can be found on the city's website or can call 903-798-3978. At this time, I'd like to present a proclamation. It's a proclamation presentation in reference to Pro Bono Week. And we have in the audience this evening Ms. King Wong. And Ms. Wong, I'm going to read the proclamation, and then when I complete it, I'm going to step down front, ask that you come up, and I'll present the proclamation to you. And thank you once again for being here today, or this evening. A Texarkana proclamation. Whereas in a democratic society, access to justice is a fundamental and essential right, but tens of thousands of Texans lack the means to gain access to legal assistance that is often critical to their safety and independence, and are often forced to resolve complex legal problems on their own, including domestic violence issues, divorces, child custody matters, evictions, foreclosures, and physical and financial abuse matters. And whereas Lone Star Legal Aid, the Texas Access to Justice Commission, the Texas Bar Association, and our local bar association throughout Texas work to recruit volunteer attorneys to provide valuable legal services free of charge to those in need. And whereas while members of the Texas legal community donate thousands of hours in free legal services and make generous financial contributions to legal aid organizations in our state, a huge unmet need for legal assistance remains for disadvantaged citizens. And whereas the Texas Rules of Professional Conduct calls on every lawyer to aspire to provide pro bono legal services to persons of limited means. And whereas the National Pro Bono Celebration is a coordinated effort to showcase the great difference that pro bono lawyers make for individuals across the nation. And whereas from October 23rd through October 29th, Lone Star Legal Aid, the Texas Access to Justice Commission, the Texas Bar Association, local bar associations, businesses, government agencies, and community organizations will be celebrating Pro Bono Week. Now, therefore, I, Bob Brugman, Mayor of the City of Texarkana, Texas, do hereby proclaim October 23rd through October 29th, 2022 as Pro Bono Week in the City of Texarkana and urge my fellow citizens to join me in recognizing the pro bono community's contributions and the difference they make to our city, our system of justice, and most of all, to all clients served. And I have signed the proclamation. It's been attested by Jennifer Evans, our TRMC City Secretary, and the city seal has also been affixed to the proclamation. So at this time, Ms. Wong, I'm going to ask if you'll please come forward, and I'd like to present this proclamation to you. And if you have any words that you would like to share, you're welcome to do so. That way everybody can hear you. Okay?
Thank you for recognizing Pro Bono Week. It's very important that we remind everybody that this court system is available to all citizens, and we appreciate those that have volunteered their time to help our clients. And thank you for your time and declaration for Pro Bono Week.
Okay, very good. That just came on, so I'm not going to make you start over. All right, so anyway.
I'm not good.
You get a picture? Okay, let me just get a wrap a picture right quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, Ms. Williams, please. Thank you.
She's a former student of mine.
Oh, really?
Yes, I went for 5th grade.
Okay. Want to hold it up? Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Have a good evening. There you go.
She has two sisters. Her family owned that baking restaurant downtown for many years.
Okay, at this time, we're going to move along to our open forum comments from the public. If there's anyone here this evening who would like to address the council, you're welcome to do so. You will have up to 5 minutes to speak on any topic. If you are here this evening to speak on behalf of one of our public hearing items, then I would ask that you wait until we get to that public hearing item, which we do have one this evening. We'd be more than happy to listen to your comments during that public hearing portion. You are asked to complete one of these yellow sheets that can be found on the rack there by the door. And at this time, we have two citizens who would like to address the council. You will once again have up to 5 minutes to speak. First is Jerry Huckabee, resident of Texarkana, Arkansas, and he is here this evening to talk to us about the Farmers Bank and Trust Live United Bowl. And so, Mr. Huckabee, if you'll please state your name for the record, and we're glad to have you with us this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Jerry Huckabee. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Glad to be here tonight to ask for a partnership again. This our Farmers Bank Live United Bowl is in our 10th year. I've lost count, but I think this 7th or 8th year that we would ask y'all to partners with us to help us put this event on. We're one of 3 Division II football bowl games in the nation. Quickly become, as we hear from folks who came, that we become the premier site in the nation, which is pretty exciting to be able to come to our twin cities to watch a college football game. A lot of folks don't get that opportunity, but y'all know that we have a big banquet Friday night before the game at the Texas Convention Center. Some of you have been able to attend before. Last year was a big party. The house was full. We have a lot of fun, a great time. A lot of people come to Texarkana and enjoy the weekend. So I would just ask that y'all consider maybe putting this on agenda next meeting, and we're asking for $20,000 to fund this event at our at the Texas Convention Center. The ball game is December 3rd at noon at Texarkana Arkansas Razorback Stadium. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate your support. We couldn't do it without you, and I'm here to answer any questions y'all might have, concerns, more information.
Questions or comments? Okay, Mr. Huckabee, we certainly thank you for your many years of involvement with this great event that's held on the first Saturday in December. And we look forward to a great matchup again this year with the teams to be determined who those teams will be. I always enjoy attending the press conference to have a chance to meet and visit and listen to the coaches and athletic directors from those colleges or universities that are represented. And so we look forward to another great event. And David, if y'all could put that on the agenda for our next council meeting for council consideration, we'll certainly do that. So.
Appreciate that, sir.
Anything else? Okay, all right.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right.
Thank you, Councilman.
Glad to have you with
Thank
us.
you.
All right.
The next citizen who would like to address the council is Mr. Robert Wortham, and he would like to address the council. The subject matter is in reference to a damaged sewer line. So, Mr. Wortham, if you'll please state your name for the record. We are glad to have you with us this evening. You were kind of a historical figure here years ago, and so we're glad to have you back this evening. But if you'll please state your name for the record.
My name's Robert, or some people call me Bob Worthen, and I'm the managing partner of R&P Worthen LLP. Our largest business that we are into is health food stores. We have 11 family stores throughout the state of Texas. Well, I should say East Texas mostly. And as Mayor Brugman alluded to, I used to come here quite a bit. Things have really changed since I've been here last time. I do want to say we've been in Texarkana now for about 19 years. Our family group of stores have been in business for over 30 years. Anyway, here recently, a company called Conterra busted through one of our sewer lines of one of the 4 buildings that we have on New Boston Road. And they actually did this about 3 years ago, apparently. We're not sure exactly when they did it. We'd like to find out. And the city I'm working with city manager, Mr. Orr, and I've talked to Mr. Brugman about it, Mayor Brugman. And what we need to do is we need to get Conterra to pay for the damages that they did. If we do damage to one of their lines, I've heard it's a minimum of $10,000 to get it fixed. And my company, R&P Worthen LLP, has over $4,000 in getting this line continually cleaned out for the last couple of years, and then finally having a camera run down in and see what was wrong and digging it up and getting it fixed. Conterra is only wanting to pay $500. So I told the representative that I talked to that it looks like we're going to have to go to court. So I'm here to let the city council know what's going on. They may not want to allow Conterra to do any more business in Texarkana since they don't want to do the right thing and pay for what they damaged and the problems they caused. And any other cities that probably wouldn't want to deal with a company like that. They've been very obstinate, and so I just wanted to let the city council know and the city of Texarkana know what was going on in this case. I have a picture here which I've shown to the city manager and the mayor and a number of other people, and it's very obvious that they severely damaged one of our sewer lines, and I just wanted to make everybody aware of what was going on tonight.
Okay. Mr. Worthing, thank you for being here. As you mentioned, staff is looking into this and working on this, so we'll be in touch with you with further information.
I'd like to stay, but I have a store to go take care of.
Well,
Y'all take care.
We
Thank you.
understand.
You're helping us with sales tax revenue, so you go do that, okay? So we're glad to have you with us. All right, thanks for being here this evening. All right, is there anyone else who would like to address the council this evening? All right, if not, then we'll move along through our agenda here, through our appointments to boards and commissions and committees. Do we have any appointments to be made this evening by the council? Ms. Williams?
Yes, this is a new appointment. I'd like to appoint Dawn Martin to the Historic Landmark Preservation Committee to a regular position.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Any others this evening? Okay, is there a motion for approval of the nomination? We have a motion by Councilmember Harp. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Hart. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. All right, well, thank Mr. Martin for his wish to continue to serve with our city, so appreciate that very much. We'll now move along to items for consideration. We do have a few items this evening, 4 as a matter of fact, on the consent agenda. Item 1 is consider approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council held on October 10th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Item 2, ordinance number 2022-132, authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with National Fitness Campaign, NFC, for the purchase and installation of a fitness court at Spring Lake Park with grant funding received in the amount of $50,000. Donations received in the amount of $50,000 and a City of Texarkana, Texas match of $67,350, budgeted in the Parks Capital Improvement Projects budget in the General Fund, Fund 101, and amending budgeted revenues and expenditures for the National Fitness Campaign Grant Fund, Fund 244, for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023, to include total revenue and expenditures of $167,350. Item 3, resolution number 2022-133, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Pro Track and Tennis Incorporated of Bennington, Nebraska for the resurfacing, crack seal, color coding, and pickleball court installation at the Southwest Center tennis courts in an amount not to exceed $105,478, with funds budgeted in the Parks Capital Improvement Projects budget in the General Fund, Fund 101. Item number 4, resolution number 2022-134, accepting the 2022 Homeland Security Grant in the amount of $219,679.49 for IT hardware. Unless a council member would like to pull one or more items for further consideration, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as it has been presented.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Davis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The consent agenda has been approved. We have 3 action items on the agenda. Item 5, resolution number 2022-117, approving the bank depository contract with Farmers Bank and Trust for 2-year period beginning February 1st, 2023, with 3 one-year renewal options. And we had a briefing on this item at our last council meeting. Kristen, do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
No, sir, no additional comments.
Okay, very good. Any questions by the council? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the resolution. Is there a motion? We have a motion by Councilmember Harp. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Councilmember Williams. This item does pertain to a resolution, so there's not a caption. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Bramlett. Glad to have you with us this evening. Moving along to item number 6, resolution number 2022-118, approving Bowie Central Appraisal District's 2022 tax roll. Any questions, any comments on this one, Kristen?
Yes, sir, just a couple of things. So this is the official tax roll that goes to fund our FY23 budget. And I just wanted to make mention that there was very minimal change from the certified rolls that we received in July, which is always a good thing. And Ms. Evans has asked me to remind you that this requires signature by each council member. And so if you could do that before the closed session, that would be helpful.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any questions for Kristen? Okay. If not, is there a motion for approval? We have a motion by Councilmember Harp. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Hart. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes. Item number 7, resolution number 2022-130, approving a strategic partnership agreement by and between the City of Texarkana, Texas and the Macedonia-Ilo Municipal Utility District Number 1 of Bowie County. And we'll have our city attorney, Mr. Jeff Lewis, to provide any additional comments on this matter. Mr. Lewis?
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, you have participated in 2 joint public hearings over the past few months where this agreement has been the subject of public hearing. The agreement began after inquiry was made about a year ago for the possibility of annexation of certain property that's outside the city limits but in the extraterritorial jurisdiction. That inquiry prompted discussions between the 2 governing entities, the city and the Macedonia-Ilo Municipal Utility District, of strategies to address commercial development in very precise areas within the utility district. That then produced the proposed agreement that is in front of you. The law required that the utility district first indicate whether or not it wanted to proceed with the agreement, and we have in the board pack or the agenda packet the board's agenda minutes and resolution and agreement signed. And now it is ready to be proposed to the council for consideration. Let me take this opportunity to say this is just an agreement on strategy, a strategic partnership agreement. Any implementation of the strategy will certainly come before this council as well in future ordinances for the council to consider. Be happy to answer any further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Any questions for the city attorney on this matter? Okay, very good. So if not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the resolution. Is there a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Davis and a second by Councilmember Matlock. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes unanimously. Moving along to first briefings, item number 1 is ordinance number 2022-123, amending Chapter 140, Article 5, Section 106F, Historic Designation of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Texarkana, Texas, to provide tax relief for redeveloped non-residential zoned historic properties. We'll have a public hearing on this item at our next meeting on November 14th and council consideration at the same time. And Daphne is going to brief us on this one. Good evening, Daphne.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present this first briefing requesting to amend Chapter 140, Article 5, Section 106F, Historic Designation, to provide tax relief for non-residential zoned historic property redevelopment. Currently, this section of Chapter 140 provides tax relief for properties located in a designated historic district. This is a way to encourage redevelopment of our historic assets and reinvestment in our community by providing tax relief from annual city ad valorem taxes for historic properties not zoned as residential that are listed on either the National Register of Historic Places, a recorded Texas landmark, a state archaeological landmark, or locally designated landmark. This would include commercial property that is being redeveloped for a residential use. but it just wouldn't be zoned as in a residential area. The proposed amendment would provide tax relief by exempting 50% of the assessed value of a structure, including the land necessary for access to and use of the structure for a period of 10 years from the start of redevelopment, or 100% of the assessed value of said structure for 5 years. So the cost to the city would be the same for whichever route the property owner chose to take. In order to receive this exemption, the structure must be in use providing an economic service to the community or being redeveloped to provide an economic impact to our community. It has to be for, the restoration amount has to be at least $25,000 or more in Bowie CAD improvement value. It has to be for structural, electrical, plumbing, mechanical repairs and improvements, interior repairs and improvements, and exterior restorations. So the applicant would be required to submit documentation reflecting the cost of the eligible reinvestment project and agree to complete the project within a certain time frame. The facade restoration would be required to comply with the Secretary of Interior's guidelines, which for any national or state historic property, they would have to in order to maintain their historic designation. For properties listed on the National Register of Historic Places or a recorded Texas landmark or a state archaeological landmark, consultation with Texas Historic Commission would be required as well, which is part of their requirements for maintaining that historic designation on their property. So they must be in compliance with all adopted city building codes with a current certificate of occupancy in order to receive this tax relief. And city staff will coordinate with Bowie Central Appraisal District to create a tax exemption rebate process for the program. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have on this.
Questions for Daphne?
Will this be a one-time enrollment when a property owner wants to apply? They only get one 10-year period or one 5-year period, or can they apply for a second term? Or has that been decided yet?
That has not been decided yet.
Okay.
Dr. Orr?
I was just going to add that one of the things that staff has done is we've looked at a number of other cities, and so we're still reviewing that to your point, Councilmember Hart. But we've looked at, and I think in your packet was included Paris, Texas, and some other Northeast Texas cities, Tyler, Texas. And so this proposal is in line similarly to the Northeast Texas cities and their programs.
I think it's a good idea. I'm just wondering about the application.
Thank you,
I have a question.
Ms. Matlock?
If if the business, the establishment, if it's no longer in use or doesn't provide an economic benefit to, are they disqualified during that time?
Yes, they would have to be providing an economic impact or at least being redeveloped. If they started a redevelopment on a vacant historic structure, then it could start at that time as long as they continued progressing and they showed proof of what they were doing.
Once they apply for the application, get approved, and if at a point in time they're no longer doing what they're supposed to do, like if you say provide an economic impact to the community, then are they disqualified and they have to start back paying regular taxes again?
Yes.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Daphne. Thank you, Dr. Orr. Moving along with our agenda on first briefings, council on the next page, on page 5, items 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all related. I'm going to read each one of those individually, one particular section, and then Michelle is going to brief the council on these combined items. By the way, welcome, Michelle. Item number 2 is ordinance number 2022-124, rezoning lots 19 and 20, Block A, Parish Place, located at 103 Parish Street, single family 2 to general retail, Rocky Murray owner. Item number 3, ordinance number 2022-125, granting a specific use permit to allow new and used auto sales outdoor lot on lots 19 and 20, Block A, Parish Place Edition, located at 103 Parish Street. Rocky Murray, owner. Item 4, ordinance number 2022-126, rezoning lots 17 and 18, Block A, Parish Place Edition, located at 105 Parish Street. Single Family 2 to general retail, Rocky Murray, owner. Item number 5, ordinance number 2022-127, granting a specific use permit to allow new and used auto sales, an outdoor lot, on lots 17 and 18, Block A, Parish Place Edition, located at 105 Parish Street, Rocky Murray, owner. And then on these 4 items, we will have public hearings on these items at our next meeting on November the 14th. And so Michelle is going to brief the council in reference to these items. Good evening once again, Michelle.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. So, as you said, this is a request to rezone 103 and 105 Parish Street from Single Family 2 to general retail, and for a specific use permit to allow new and used car sales at this location. A specific use permit is required to allow new or used auto sales in this zoning district. The future land use map has designated these properties as neighborhood retail, and the adjacent zoning is general retail to the north and south, single family 2 to the east and west. The adjacent land use is a car lot to the north, appliance sales to the south, and residential to the east and west. The current structures on the properties will be demolished, and staff and planning and zoning recommend for approval of these requests, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Michelle? All right, thank you very much. She's going to stick around because she's going to tee up number 6 for us as well, and 7. So item 6 is ordinance number 2022-128, amending PD-02-13GR for site plan approval on lots 12 and 13, Block 6, Richmond Development 5th Subdivision, Phase 3, located in the 3400 block of Brook Place. Brad Metter and Brandon Taylor, 2B Builders, owner. Michelle?
So this is a request for site plan approval located in the 3400 block of Brook Place for the purpose of constructing 19 apartment units, which is Phase 3. The property is currently vacant land. The adjacent zoning is planned development, general retail to the north, east, and west, and office and planned development, multiple family 1 to the south. The adjacent land use is a vacant land to the north, retail sales to the east, offices to the west, and apartments and offices to the south. The site plan consists of 19 two-story, 1, 2, and 3-bedroom apartment units. The facade will be hardy board siding, brick, and concrete with rock columns. The access will be from Brook Place. There will be 45 parking spaces and a screened dumpster site. Staff and planning and zoning do recommend for approval of this item, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Michelle? All right, thank you. Item number 7 is ordinance number 2022-129, rezoning lots 1 through 4, Block 1, Jake Eldridge, First Edition, located at 2315 Texas Boulevard. General retail to commercial. David Owen, owner. Michelle?
So this is a request to rezone 2315 Texas Boulevard from general retail to commercial. The proposed use is light manufacturing of CBD or cannabis products. They currently sell their products at a separate location on Texas Boulevard. I believe that's 3015 Texas. The adjacent zoning is general retail to the north, commercial to the south and east, and single family 2 to the west. The adjacent land use is retail sales to the north, south, and east, and a residence to the west. Staff and planning and zoning do recommend approval for this request, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
So Michelle, will they be occupying the full space of the building or just a portion of it, or?
The full space,
Full
yes,
space?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions for Michelle? All right, thank you for your time this evening.
All right, thank you.
All right. This concludes our first briefings portion of the agenda. We'll now move along to public hearings. We have one public hearing scheduled for this evening. Item 1, resolution number 2022-122, supporting the Texarkana Metropolitan Planning Organization's adoption of the State Line Avenue Corridor, Plan Alternative Number 2, to the Arkansas Department of Transportation, RDOT, for the design of the State Line Avenue Corridor. Public hearing is scheduled for this evening, as well as council consideration. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If there's anyone who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the resolution?
Do we get any nuggets before we vote?
Sir?
Do we get any nuggets before the vote?
Any nuggets?
Yeah.
You've lost
No?
me.
All right, never mind then.
Okay. It's been a long day, so. Oh, okay, yeah. No meetings in this particular design phase. So, I'm sorry, I thought I heard a motion from down here. Ms. Hart, okay. So I have a motion by Ms. Hart. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Harp. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes. At this time, move along to the city manager's report. Dr. Orr.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. You may have noticed our press releases are coming from a new name, and so I wanted to introduce Brooke Stone tonight. Brooke is in the audience, and Brooke is our new communications manager. So she's from DCAB, but she's called Texarkana home for the last 18 years, so we claim her as our own. And her duties include marketing, advertising, and social media. So you'll see a lot more of Brooke, but she'll be working with Lisa Thompson on all of our social media, and then also too with press releases and other things. So just wanted to welcome her. Also wanted to mention to you about our Parks and Planning Department reorganization. So beginning November 1st, the Texarkana Bowie County Health Center will transition to the Planning Department, and that'll be under Vashil. And then the farmers market staff will transition to the Parks Department under Robbie. So all staff will remain the same, contact information will be the same, but I wanted to make you aware of that transition that'll be occurring November 1st. Legislative updates, we've sent out a number of legislative updates. The legislature is set to convene January 10th, just a few weeks. On Monday, November 14th will be the first day that bills can be filed. And so we've been working both with our local representatives and others around the state to track issues that have an impact on our community, and wanted to make you aware that we are working with the COG locally to plan a Northeast Texas Day at the Capitol, and so that'll take place Wednesday, March 1st, so mark your calendars for that. If you're interested in traveling to the Capitol, there'll be, like I said, a day, actually it's a week, 3 days full of activities, but the Texarkana Northeast Texas Day will be March 1st. And then I have just a number of save the dates for you. I think we've sent some of these out already, but we have the 46th Annual Public Safety Officer Appreciation Luncheon. That'll be held on Thursday, November 3rd, and that's at First Methodist, Texarkana, Arkansas. And then we have our Employee Appreciation Tailgate at the Convention Center on November 17th. And finally, Leadership Texarkana Breakfast, which was just sent out today, December 6th, 8 a.m., and that's also at First United Methodist, Texarkana, Arkansas. So staff will follow up and send you calendar invites for these events coming up. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, David. All right, at this time, we'll move along to administrative comments. Any comments from the council this evening for the staff? All right, and then any further comments from staff?
No further comments, Mayor.
Okay, very good. All right. At this time, the City Council will convene into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with City Attorney. And for everyone here and those watching on live stream, the council does not anticipate taking any action after the closed session other than reconvening in open session and adjourning the meeting. At this time, we will end the live stream. And once again, thank you for those of you joining us in the audience, as well as those who've been joining us